Hey, buddy.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, Rock. It's always a pleasure to go one-on-one with the great one.
And what a Friday morning it is.
Absolutely. I want to start off by asking you how you feeling, because you just tweeted that you're letting pain be your guide.
Yeah, which I think is something important as you come back from any type of surgery. In this case, got to let pain be my guide. You know, I've had over the years a multitude of things. I have 4 knee surgeries, shoulder redone, reconstruction, Achilles reattached. When you have triple hernia surgery, when you're dealing with your lower abdomen, you really have to be careful and let pain be your guide. And in this case, whether it comes to any type of cardio I'm doing, any type of light training, working out that I'm doing, got to let pain be your guide.
I was there at WrestleMania 29.
It's very simple. If it hurts, don't do it.
I was there at WrestleMania 29. No one in the audience would have been able to tell that anything was going on. And you've said in previous interviews that you're not sure if you're done with wrestling or not. And if you are done with wrestling, are you okay with that match versus John Cena on April 7th being your final match?
Yeah, I got to tell you, that's a great question. I grew up in wrestling, as you know, so for me, that was a dream scenario, going into the biggest WrestleMania of all time at MetLife Stadium, breaking records, and going in as WWE champion, and then losing the belt to John Cena. And in the world of wrestling, and you're probably familiar with this.
I am, very familiar.
The passing of the torch, so to speak, and doing the right thing for business. So it was a dream scenario, and if in fact that was my last match, man, I'm happy with it, because I wound up not only having 3 hernial tears, but I also tore my adductor tendon as well as my rectus tendon clean off my pelvis. So to be able to finish the match and not let anybody know and kind of walk out on my own, it's going out on my shield, and I loved it.
It was an incredible match. I'm so happy that I could have been there if it is, in fact, your final match. The Rock's a tough guy. Hobbs also a tough character. And I want to know for you, if we put all of your characters together in a battle royal, who would come out on top?
That is a great question. I would say right now it would be a toss-up between my character from Fast and Furious, Hobbs, or between Roadblock from G.I. Joe.
All right.
I would have to say between those two. But then again, the character from Pain and Gain, Paul Doyle, who had when you have that bad of a massive cocaine problem, you feel no pain. So I might have to give it to him.
Wrestling fans will know Shane Douglas as the franchise, but I believe that you are the franchise saver, because when you come into these sequels, the box office numbers just skyrocket. And what is it that you bring to these movies that makes those numbers go up so high?
Well, growing up in wrestling, I appreciate the Shane Douglas reference.
Yes, you're welcome.
I like Shane a lot, and his work was tremendous over the years. What I bring, that's a loaded question. Here's what I bring to these franchises. I can kick ass pretty good. I look good with a gun. I got a hell of a smile, and I smell good.
What does The Rock smell like right now?
I smell like duck butter.
For wrestling fans,
I don't know what that smells like, but apparently it smells good.
For wrestling fans watching wrestling right now, for you, who is a young and up-and-comer that we need to keep our eyes on? WWE, TNA, or possibly even Ring of Honor?
Yeah, let's see. I would say probably, let me speak in the WWE.
Okay.
I would say Roman Reigns, who's a cousin of mine. I think he looks great, very talented in the ring. The Shield, all those 3 guys, by the way, are doing a great job. I'll say this, and he knows this, but Fandango is one of my favorites. Now, what makes him such an interesting character, and wrestling fans understand this when I tell them this, to play a character like that, you've got to embrace it. And that's not an easy character to embrace, and he embraces it, which tells me that he's got a lot going on, I think, in terms of his depth and how far he can go in terms of characters. So I would say those guys. The 4-month run that I had in the WWE was really eye-opening, and I was able to see a lot of young talent who were very, very hungry, very humble. And what's interesting is there was some talent there who you know, in just the nature of the business, had become soured grapes and miserable. But the younger guys, good to see, were very, very excited. And there was that hunger there. And it reminds me of myself about 10, 15 years ago when I first started.
In your DVD, you say that signing autographs is the easiest part of your job. So with that being the easiest, what's the most difficult part of The Rock's job?
Well, that is, by the way, signing an autograph or taking a picture or saying hello to somebody. Sure. That's the easiest thing I could do. Look, that's the easiest thing I could do. And so the hardest part would probably be leaving my family and going away. You know, I wrestled for a long time, and being on the road 300 days out of the year is tough. Going away and shooting on locations for 4 or 5 months at a time is tough too. So I would say being away from the family.
You have cut some legendary promos in your time, and I want to know for you, what is the most memorable?
The most memorable promo that I have two.
Okay.
I would have to say that when I first turned heel, and for non-wrestling fans, it means when I became a bad guy. At that time, The Rock was just trying to understand what the character of The Rock is: entertaining, loud, funny, not loud, whatever he could be. I remember being in the ring, and we were live, and I said, you know, I may be a lot of things, but sucks isn't one of them, and you'll soon find out. And
yes,
it was a turning point for me in terms of my career. And the other promo I did a sit-down interview with Jennifer Flowers, the infamous Jennifer Flowers, and she had asked me if I were the judge and jury, how would I handle something? I can't remember whatever was happening in society at that time. She asked me about that, and I said, well, first of all, if I were the judge and jury, I'd be a hung jury, if you know what I mean. And then I said, out of the blue, if you smell what I'm cooking. And that kind of took off into somewhat part of the lexicon.
Yeah, I believe that's a phrase that we may have heard, you know, once or twice before.
That's right.
Fast and Furious 6 in theaters May 24th. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, always an absolute pleasure to speak with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.